I'd like to welcome everyone to the Northern Alliance webinar for Thursday, May 1st. It is a beautiful morning, and I'm really looking forward to welcoming our guest host today. First, let's talk about struggles that we all face, dealing with failure and the concept of failing forward. Some of you may be new to this expression. Failing forward is the idea that failure isn't the end of the road, it's a stepping stone to success. Instead of viewing failure as a setback, it's about using mistakes and missteps as valuable learning opportunities. You learn from the mistake, take responsibility, and use it as a fuel for growth, and keep moving forward. It's not a reason to stop and throw in the towel, but instead to use it as a powerful tool to build resilience and keep pushing towards your goals. Every failure strengthens your ability to bounce back and face future challenges with more confidence, to stand taller than you did before the mistake knocked you down. So our guest host did just that. If you had the opportunity to hear from the queen of real estate at Evolve, you will know what I'm talking about. Nancy Forlini shared her incredible story of the setbacks in the beginning of her career that helped catapult her to success. Nancy's team is in the top 1% in RE/MAX worldwide, receiving numerous accolades for their successes. And most recently, she was personally awarded the prestigious Paramount of Excellence Award from RE/MAX International, which means she has earned over 30 million in commissions personally. She is the only woman in Quebec to have ever achieved this level. Nancy's journey is a testament to her resilience, leadership, and unwavering commitment to her clients and community. I am so excited to share her incredible training with you today. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning, Sarah. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So I will let you take it away for everyone.
Okay, well, very good. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. I'm really, really excited to be here. Everybody that's here, thank you for showing up. I want to give you value today. I know I have only 1 hour. I have tons of experience and tips to give you. However, I did prepare something special for you, and my title is How to Win Your Gold Medal in Real Estate, and I'll let you know a little bit why I titled it like that, because I really consider being an athlete of real estate. So I compare real estate with sports, sales with sports, and I'll give a lot of example on that before. But as Sarah said a little bit, I'll just share a few minutes of my story, and so that you know where I came from, how I got here, and hopefully my message with you will give you a haha moment, a moment of inspiration, something for you to do, a new action, a new decision for you to step up and reach out to even higher level. So I'm really excited to be here. So I've been selling real estate since 1987. So it's 38 years in March that I've done 38 years of selling real estate. A long, long time. And let me tell you that when I started, it was very different than what real estate is today. And what I mean by that is that we had absolutely zero tool. There was no internet, there was no cell phone, there was no centralized centrist matrix realtor that centralized everything. We did not have social media. So all this, what it meant is that the way to do business, well, there was very limited on how we could find business. It was either make phone calls or promote yourself on marketing and investing a lot of money out of your pocket to be branded, to promote yourself, to do mailing and everything. Today, it's a lot easier to get known in real estate. You have a lot of more tools. We had no coaching, no YouTube. Imagine that when we had somebody call the office and we were on the road, we had to call back out of a phone booth to get our messages. So imagine out of a phone booth to get your message, or go back to the office and get your pink slip with the handwritten message. So it's different time. However, we've learned the skill back then. We've learned how to promote ourselves different ways, and it really created a foundation. However, when I started in real estate, I had big dreams, but there was no courses, no direction, no coaching. So it was very difficult to really succeed. And unless you had a background in sale, it was very difficult to succeed. And at the time, I was single. I was 25 years old. I was having fun. I was living at my parents. I had no responsibility. So I took it that if I wanted to get up in the morning, it didn't matter if I did or not. I would show up at the office at whatever time that I wanted. I would go out till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, go dancing in discotheque, and having a hard time getting up in the next morning. And life was beautiful, no responsibility and everything. And one thing that I had is that I had worked in restaurant while I was studying at university, and I knew a lot of people in the restaurant business. So what caused me to get client was a little bit of that field. And one of the uh, um, client that I got, he wanted to move his restaurant out of a building that he would own downtown Montreal. And that was 1989, 1990. And I was working with him, trying to find him something. He had a big budget. It was like a commercial building. So we were talking millions of dollars back then, 1989. So that would mean a lot more today. And one day I saw this big billboard, downtown Montreal, new project condos, residential tower with commercial space to rent or to buy as condo. And I reached out to the promoter. I made a deal with him, presented to my client, and he decided to buy it. So I made my first sale of $1 million back then in 1989. I was going to touch $33,000 in commission. Wow. Well, what does a single lady, okay, no responsibility does when she knows she's going to be touching $33,000 commission? Well, I decided to go on a long vacation and I went to Greece for 5 weeks. I had the time of my life. When I came back, I was a bit depressed because I fell in love with Greece. I fell in love with the country, the lifestyle, the beautiful weather, the beaches and everything. And I said, oh, I don't want to live the winter over here anymore. So I started to be in a mental paralysis. So my account at Remax, because it was expensive there, it was like $1,000 a month in 1989, 90. So it was a lot of money and started accumulating. And 6 months later, something happened in Canada, and it's the biggest recession that we've ever lived in Canada, hit Canada. Everything stopped at that moment. Interest rate went up to 18%. The phone stopped ringing. Everything stopped. And the project that was supposed to be built where my client bought a commercial condo went bankrupt and I never got paid the $33,000. So I was in deep shit. Okay. I was in deep trouble and I did not know how to get out of it. I really did not know. I was thinking, do I bankrupt? What do I do? I didn't tell my parents. There was no way. I come from an Italian family. My father very strict. There was no way I was going to tell him. And since I was still living at home, I would go to work, to the office, go to work. I would go to the office, not necessarily work. And then I would go back for supper. And then I would go back at night to be at the office. One night, my receptionist called me and she goes, Nancy, your dad is at the reception. I go, oh, that's weird. That's odd. What is he doing here? So he came to the office and he said, I said, Dad, what are you doing here? I was just with you. He goes, I just came to see how you're doing. I said, well, I'm doing great. You know, the big facade. I'm doing great. It's not easy, but I'm pushing through, you know. He just looks at me with his dark brown eyes and he said, Nancy, how is it really going? Oh, Dad, it's really doing good. I go, you know, like we're okay. And then he asked for a third time. And on the third time, I just collapsed in tears. I just let go and I said, Dad, I'm in trouble. I'm over my head in debt, like over $35,000 in debt. I lost the deal. I don't know how to do it. The credit cards are loaded. I don't know what to do. I owe here money at the Remax. And I saw his face of disappointment. And this face, this look on his eyes of disappointment of his daughter was so deep rooted in me. I said to myself, he will never see me like that again. So what he decided to do was consolidate my debt. And he helped me by paying, I would pay every month For 4 years, I paid him back. Now, if it was not for him, I would not be in real estate anymore. That's for sure. The reason I'm saying that is that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, because I went from 30,000 plus debt to over $30 million earned in commission. And I don't say that to brag. It's just that sometimes we have setbacks and there is a light at the tunnel. However, you do have to do changes in yourself, in your business, in your action, in your being, in order to elevate yourself out of that. So if there's anybody in the crowd right now on this webinar that is struggling, that is having debt, that is going through some difficulty and they don't know how to get out of it, well, there is hope, because there is a light in the tunnel, and I'm a perfectly example of what that is. Because $30,000 in debt back then is probably like $150,000, $200,000 in today's time. So it was significant. It was very big. But I had to learn how to do real estate. I had to learn what it took to succeed. Because like I said before, there was no coaching. And only a few years later, coaching really started. So I really want to, share with you a little bit of that story and what I did in order to achieve, and what are the aha moments that brought me here. So, when you want to become the best version of yourself in real estate, you have to ask yourself something. What does it mean to become the best version of yourself? I'm talking to a group right now from Ottawa. I mean, some of you might be new agents. Some of you might be very experienced agents. Some of you might be doing amazing. Some of you might be struggling. Some of you might be just doing okay. And you have, you're part of the Real Estate Board of Ottawa. You are either on a great team with great team leaders or great agencies with great owners, and you're getting, and there's coaching available. There's everything available. In today's market, everybody got access to the best tools, the best system, the best staff, the cutting edge marketing. Like, it's available for everybody. It wasn't when I started. So if all this is available today, the coaching is available, the courses are available, YouTube exists, internet exists, you can do electronic signature. We had to go physically to every single appointment of offer, counter offer, in person, driving from the office, going to somebody's house, going to the other person's house, back and forth. When to do today, we just have to do a phone call, a Zoom, we talk, we meet, or they come at the office, and then we do electronic signature. So how come, if all these tools are available, how come not everyone is winning? How come not everybody is doing well? And there's one thing that I love about real estate is the fact that there is no ceiling. There is no ceiling of the revenue that you can make. Okay, you can make as much as you want. Nobody can tell you, hey, you won't be making more than $50,000, and nobody can label how much you're going to be making. Nobody can limit you. There's only one person that can limit you, and it's you. Okay, so knowing that, well, let's do what it takes to win at this game, right? I mean, think about it. People are succeeding at high level in your market. And if you are at a high level, that's one thing. If you are at mid-level, it's another thing. And if you're struggling, it's another thing. But it's the same market. It's the same inventory. It's the same interest rates. Everything is the same. There's only one thing that's different. And there's one denominator that's common, and it's you. So you're going to be looking in the mirror to say, okay, what am I not doing, or who am I not being in order to succeed at the game of real estate? Because every day there are sales that are being made. Find me one day in your MLS that there's no sales in Ottawa. Find me one day in Ottawa in your MLS there is not a new listing on the market. Okay, so every day there are sales that are being made. Every day there are buyers looking to buy a house. Every day there are sellers looking to sell their home. You just need to be that one that finds it. That's your job every single day, is be the one that's going to be finding the buyer and the seller, and that are ready to act now, And that's what you have to focus on every single day, is finding those people. That's your job every day. But most people are waiting for business to come to them. And that where is the mistake, okay? Is that you don't wait for if you want to succeed in real estate, you got to be proactive. You can't be just sitting down and waiting for it to come to you, okay? Because real estate, between you and I, okay, it's not complicated. You need four things, okay? The first one is you need knowledge. And if you want to take notes, go ahead, take notes, because I'm going to be giving you something to reflect on. So you need four things to win in real estate, to perform in real estate. You'll need knowledge, you'll need skills, you'll need the right mindset, and you'll need execution. So I'm going to break it down in each category, okay? So the first one is knowledge. You need to know your market. You need to know your statistics. You need to know the inventory. You need to know how to write contracts. You need to know the law. You need to know how to protect your clients. You need to also understand the knowledge of psychology to deal with the up and down of the emotion of the clients, because you can't just go in and be part of their emotion. You need to be like the doctor who's going to be announcing a bad news sometime to a patient, right? And be detached from the outcome, unfortunately, without being emotionalist, but without being emotionally involved in the transaction. So you need to know psychology. You need to know principles of negotiations. And the most important is that you need to know how to win for your client, because if they hire you for you to win for them. If it's a listing that you're getting, winning for them is for you to sell the house in the best condition at the best price possible for them. And if you are working with a buyer, well, it's for them winning, for you to win for them, it's really getting them the house. If they're competing in multiple offers, you got to be the one winning it. So you'll need to know how to present to the buyer what it required for them to win the offer in multiple offer. Because if you're just an order taker, guess what? Chances are you're not going to be able to get them the house. I'll get back to that order taker. The second thing that you want to do, okay, that you need is skills. This is inevitable, okay? How much time are you working at getting better? Okay, I don't know if the chat is working, Sarah. I'm not too sure because I don't see it. But
I've
if
got
there's
the
any,
chat open
yeah,
here. So
you
there's
have
no
the chat.
question, but
Okay.
if there is, I'll
Yeah, no,
unmute.
I have it. I have it. Hello,
Okay.
hello, Evine. Hello, Andrea. So if you can answer this, how much time are you working on your skills? Whether it's every day, every week, every month, once a year, what are you doing to sharpen your skill in real estate? Are you doing anything to sharpen your skills in real estate? Okay, you can answer if you would like. I'd like to know. Because are you the type of agent that just got their license and they don't need to learn anymore? And they say, well, I got my license, that now I have what it takes to earn and I don't need to learn? Are you the type that knows it all and don't need to recycle yourself? After 38 years of experience, I am still recycling myself. I am still refining my skills every single day. I am still working at how can I do this better? I'm refining my presentation. I'm refining the way I deliver my presentation. Okay. So are you the type that knows it all and you don't feel the need to recycle yourself? Are you refining your skill on your phone technique? Because guess what? What's your conversion rate if you are prospecting, if you are doing phone call? What's your conversion rate? Are you refining your skills to follow up? Are you doing always the same type of follow-ups, saying the same thing and not getting always the same result, which is not an appointment? Ask yourself. And when you go to a listing presentation or a buyer consultation, Are you really prepared with a checklist before you get into the presentation? Are you prepared with a physical presentation, whether it's on a PowerPoint or a catalog or something in documents? Or are you just winging it and going with your nice personality, thinking that you'll win them with your nice personality? Because I've been there, and that was not the way to go. Okay, so how much time are you spending refining your skill? And let me ask you, okay, and I've got some answers over here. Every week, podcast mastermind audiobook practicing, that's fantastic. Whaling, I would say it's evident we are the people trying to improve skills based on us participating in this course. I agree, Whaling, absolutely. And the suggestion to have physical presentation prepare, well, either because all depends who is your client. I have a lot of older people and I have young people. The young people, if you show a PowerPoint, you show a screen, it works well with them. But if you're with the older people who grew up with newspaper, who grew up with magazine, and they can touch, it's going to be a different experience for them. Okay. And Aveen, you are blessed to have weekly training and coaching. That is fantastic because not everybody gets to do that. So that is fantastic. Okay. But on a scale of 1 to 10, write in the chat over here, where would you rate, how much would you rate your skill on phone technique from 1 to 10? 8, great. 3, Emily, okay, great. Thank you for answering. Who else on the phone technique? 6, okay, Joe, okay, great. 7, fantastic. Anybody else? So let's do at a listing presentation. How much would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? While I take a little sip. 4, don't like cold calling, but I am great at research and know basic, like to know with whom you're speaking, for example. Okay, great. And on listing presentation, 5, listing presentation waiting 9, fantastic. Emily, 7, good in person, great. How do we make it a 10? And I know 10 is like, nobody should rate themselves 10. But if you're at 7, how do you make yourself an 8? If you're at 5, how do you go to 6? And then to 7, and then to 8, right? So take a moment today when you're alone and just break down all the skill set required. It could be showing homes. How are you when you're showing homes? Are you just the person that go in and this is the living room, this is the dining room, this is the master bedroom, and that's about it? You're just showing it that way? Or are you involved and putting insight on everything, the possibility and everything that maybe a buyer cannot catch from his own eye? So break it down in the skill set that you need and rate yourself and then start working on that. Already that will help a lot. Okay. Are you an order taker? So this might offend some of you, but I'm okay with that. And don't take it to be offended. Okay. But it's one of the message that I love sharing because I know some of you need to hear it. Okay. Are you an, so what is the job of an agent? What is the job of an agent? Answer me in the chat, please. What's the job of an agent? Protect your clients. What else? Guidance. Okay, what else? Okay, Andrea, I'll come back to you. Andrea is in my coaching group, so I wanna come back to her answer after. To assist and explain to a client of all the danger and risk involved and protect them. Okay, make them dollars. Follow up, prospects. Okay, they're all great answers, right? They're all great answers. But let me ask you, Are you paid? Do you get a check if you are assisting and explaining to the client all the dangers and risk involved in purchasing a home? Will they write you a check for you to having assisting them in writing it? Oh, we got Ruby also there. Great. Prospect. Are you being paid to prospect? Every phone call you make, are you collecting a check? Okay, ask yourself. Connecting with people, are they can have a great connection, but are you getting a paycheck? You're not, right? You're not getting a paycheck to show them homes. You're not getting a paycheck for listening to them, for guiding them, for accompanying them. You only get a paycheck when you sell. And that's why I didn't want to go to Andrea's answer, because she right away she knew, because as I said, she's in my coaching group. So if you don't sell, you don't get paid. That's very important for you to get. If you don't sell, you don't get paid. You can be great person, great connection, showing them all the homes that they want, being good to them, being very nice. But at the end of the day, if there's no sale, there's no pay. If there's no pay, there's no commission. If there's no commission, there's no money. And if there's no money, well, you can't pay your mortgage, your rent, your car, the school of your kids, the food on the table, period. So what does that make us? Right? That makes us salespeople. Now, when I teach, a lot of people, yeah, but Nancy, I didn't take my license to be called a salesperson. I want you to have the click in your head in regards to that. Because what the big change when I started real estate and people were asking, what do you do for a living? I sell home. That was my answer. And it still is today. I sell home. I didn't say I was a consultant. I didn't say I was anything else, but I sell home. That's what I do. Now, why is this important? Because the industry of real estate, the association, okay, across Canada in the 90s, late 90s, beginning of 2000, salespeople in all the surveys were at the bottom of professions, how the public look at the profession. So salespeople was like really at the bottom, because what? When you are a salesperson, you're not trustworthy, you're pushy, and all the stories that come with that. So by pushing ourselves away from knowing that we are salespeople and we need to make sales and guide them to close at the end. And I'm not saying being salespeople to be pushy and having no integrity. No, it's to bring them to a close. Okay. But what happened is that agents became order taker. Order taker. Oh, you want to make an offer? Great. How much do you want to make the offer at? Oh, well, they're asking $7.99. I'll make it at $7.25. Okay, take the $7.25 and they go present it. And the seller says, no, it's way too low. Okay, how much do you want? Oh, $7.85. Okay. And then they become okay agent. So maybe some of you don't recognize yourself in that because you are closers, but maybe some of you need to hear that. So instead of, working your salesmanship into showing to the client that offer, they're not going to get the house. Chances are that they're going to lose it. Chances are they might insult the seller, that the comparables sustain the asking price of the owner, and going into a mode of selling them the idea that their offer needs to be better in order to win. And I said it at the beginning, you need to learn how to win for your clients. So that causes people to be a little bit more order taker than into sales. Okay. Our responsibility is, say the truth, to protect them. Yes, absolutely. We want to protect them. We want to guide them every step of the way, accompany them. Absolutely. But if you're doing it just passively as an order taker, you're not going to succeed in real estate, or you're not going to make a lot of money. Okay. And it's very, very important that you know that. So I just want to acknowledge some of the comments over here. I appreciate your directness and your advice. Yes, I'm similar to those other salespeople fighting against the stigma, trying to do something good for individual, but the fact is I cannot help them if I don't produce enough sale. Exactly. I'm glad that you're getting it way. So it's very, very important. This is one nugget that if you can take home and work on that, you will see a massive difference in your result if you're taking your offer differently now. If you're going to a listing appointment and you're just taking the price that they want and you're not showing them the value that by doing that, they're going to hurt themselves, their house is going to sit on the market and they're not going to sell, and then somebody else is going to pick it up at the end of the contract. I had the conversation with one of my coaching clients yesterday, that at the end of the mandate, if because sometimes we tippy-toe around the price reduction because we say, well, you know, you don't want to offend them, you know that they pay too much, or they might be offended and you want to protect them. And at the end of the day, when your contract is going to be over and you didn't sell it, well, guess what? They're not going to be writing you a check of 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 for your expenses and your time and say, hey, thank you very much, Nancy. You didn't sell it, but here's a gift because I know you worked hard. Nobody's going to do that. And what they're going to do, they're going to turn around and they're going to be listing with the agent who's going to say, hey, at that price, you saw that you did not get any result. The market did not agree with your price. We need to list it, position it in the market in a much better way. Let me show you how I can do that for you. And they list, and 2 weeks later, the house is sold. Who's ever had this happen to them in the group? Don't be shy, because they're ha-ha moments. Nobody? Okay. I mean, that's fine, but it might happen in the future. Monique, thank you for your kindness and your honesty. Okay, because it's not easy to admit sometime that maybe I could have done better. But the day that you admit it and you take awareness that you can improve, your game is going to change. Your result is going to change. Your bottom line is going to change. So it's very important that you acknowledge that. Thank you. So in your skills, okay, you need to understand that there is a language that leads to sell. Sales is for me, it's like philosophy. You know, you learn it, you live by it, you explore it. There's a language that leads to sell, and there is a language that repulses the sale. You have a power of influence over your clients. And yet, a lot of people are not using their power of influence. But it's all in the language that you use. Okay? So that's very, very important. So just to go back to sell, if you look in the dictionary, the definition of a sale, it is the exchange of a product or a service for money. I repeat, the definition of sale is the exchange of money, of product or service for money. That's exactly what we do. We get paid for a service when the service is okay. When I started in 1987, I would go to clients and I would be the nice person. I would go do an evaluation and I didn't know how to do it. There was no manual, there was no coaching. So I would go to a listing appointment, an evaluation, and I would do the tour of the house. I knew I needed measurements. I would take the measurement, I would ask questions, I would sit down at the table, have conversation with the client, but with never asking for the order, never showing them how I would get them where they want to go. And after a little while, well, they would just say, okay, well, thank you, Nancy, you're very nice. I would leave from there and get in my car and I would say, oh my God, they found me very nice. That's fantastic. That means I'm going to get it. Then a few days later, I would see it listed with a Top Gun agent from the area. And I would say to myself, but they found me nice. How come they didn't list with me? And I understood that nice doesn't get you there. You need a process. You need a way to deliver the process. You need to show them how you're going to get the job done. You got to show them the result that you're going to get. You got to sell them in the idea that you're the right agent for the job. The first sell you got to do is sell yourself that you're the right person. The second job you have to do, the second sell you have to do is sell them the idea that you are the right person. That's super important. Okay. So that's for the skill. The third thing is your mindset. What's your mindset at all time? If you want to be a top producer, if you want to win your gold medal, whatever the gold medal for you represent, whatever the amount of money or type of career that you want, or the lifestyle is going to offer you, it's going to pay for, whatever it is, your mindset is number one. Okay. How do you wake up in the morning? Are you waking up ready to go? Or are you pushing the snooze button and say, "Ugh, I don't feel like it, another 10 minutes." How's your mindset when you need to work out? How's your mindset when you have about 2 hours of phone calls to do? How's your mindset if in your competition with the king pin or the queen pin of the area and you say, no, no, why would I go? I'm not going to get it anyway. Are you going to say, it doesn't matter if I'm in competition with the top one? You know what? I have value to offer, and I'm going to show them that I could be the right person. What's your mindset at all time? Do you have a mindset of a winner? Are you constantly whining? Are you a whiner or a winner? Do you see everything negative first? Or do you see it positive or with a solution mindset? That's very important. Look, I know that the Ottawa market maybe is a little bit slower. That's the kind of the feedback I've been getting. We've had tough time, we had great times, we had good times. There's still some tough time that's going to come along. We might fall into a recession. Maybe the phone call is going to be stopping the way it stopped in 1990 when we were hit with the big recession. We don't know. But one thing for sure that I know is that if you don't have the right mindset, you won't go through it. You will be crushed. So you either have the option to have the mindset to crush it or to be crushed in different market. Because some people are having success, agents are having success because the market was good. But the true success is to be able to defy those tough times. Can you succeed in the tough time, regardless of the market? Are you doing good because the market is pushing and it's great market? Or are you doing good because you are great at it? I see the mindset like our own iOS system. So we upgrade our iOS phone, we upgrade our computer. Do you upgrade regularly your iOS system? Okay. So it's your software. Are you taking care of it? What are you injecting in your software? Are you injecting positive thing, growth? So some of you did say that you are growing, and you are you are growing, you are listening to podcasts, you are being coached, so you are evolving. Or are you neutral and not changing? You have a fixed mindset and it is like, take me as I am. Because even the top producer have to upgrade their iOS system. Even after 38 years, I'm still learning. I'm still saying, oh, okay, there's new system, there's new this. What do I need to go to the next level? What do I need to be a better leader? What do you need? What do we need as a team? What are the better software now with AI? I mean, we got to learn all that stuff. Okay. If you're a team leader, if any of you are team leader, you need to have a freaking strong mindset because it's not just about you, it's about everybody else in your organization, and they depend on you. I always say when I lose a deal, so what's your mindset when you lose a deal? How long does it take you to get up? I always say that I have 1 minute to get up. Before it took me weeks and months, I would get paralyzed. I would get like completely depressed of losing a deal. Like sometime in 1 week, we might lose 10 deals. I have 1 minute to get up. Why? Because my clients who are not involved in those deals, they need me at the best that I am because that's who they hired. So regardless of, they don't care if I lost 10 deals. They care about their home selling or their purchase to find the right home. So you need to be at your best for every client. So if you always get crushed when you lose a sale, and it takes you 2, 3, 4 days, 5 days before you restart your game, you're at a loss at the start. You need to be able to say next. I know that it's tough because sometimes that commission check is representing your Visa bill. It might be representing your mortgage that you're having a hard time paying, or something else that you wanted to do with the money and you just saw it disappear. But the day that you understand that it's not yours until it's in your pocket and it's in your bank, and it cost me a lot because I had I had blew out $33,000 of commission that I thought I was going to get and never got. So it's never yours until it's notarized. It's never yours until you put it in the bank. So watch your mindset at every single moment of the day. And the fourth element is execution. This is where I see all the agents perish. They don't execute. You need to execute or you will be executed. Either the competition is going to execute you, either your team leader will execute you. Okay, your competition is going to grab market share while you're being depressed with the wrong mindset. Okay, so execution means that you need to be able to take the action necessary every single day in your daily schedule, in your routine, in your processes to get where you want to go. Depend of what your goal is, this is what you need to do. Okay, you need to know exactly what actions you need to execute every single day, not when you feel like it. Every single day. That's how you'll win the game. Everyone has big goals at the beginning of the year. Okay, but you have to execute on the daily processes that leads to that big goal. And that's where agents perish. Okay, they wait for business to come for them. Who's more into a habit of people of waiting for business to come to them? Anybody of you that instead of being proactive every day hunting for clients, you are waiting for business to come to you for that phone call that somebody's going to be saying, oh, I need Nancy, I want to sell, I'm thinking of selling, oh, I need to buy. Aveen, you, okay? Anybody else? So you're telling me that I'm talking to a group that 99% of the group are all proactive agents that are not waiting for business to come, and they are doing and executing every single day to generate business? I've been since Dwayne's death. Um, I'm sorry, Monique. I don't know who Dwayne is. And wailing, not as much as I do, getting better. Your husband. I'm sorry, Monique. Okay. Well, and this is one thing. I'm really sorry. My condolences. I don't know when that happened. But one thing is for sure is that being like most of the time, agent, like it's one that you don't fail because of one major event, except a death or a illness, right? Like this could be valid reason. And I will talk in a moment about valid reason that could alter your direction. I totally get that. Okay. But most of the agents, that's not their issue. Okay. They're just at park waiting for business to come. So Monique, I have to get back in the groove. Okay. Monique, I'll reach out to you through Sarah. personally to have a conversation with you. Okay. So, hello, Nancy. Most of the time, my results are coming from referrals that I'm working with. That's why they are not enough. Exactly. So, Vicky, thank you for saying that, because referrals will get you so far, but won't get you to the stratosphere. You will never generate enough referral to really have a double, triple, quadruple, or 10x your business. Referral is not enough. It is great. It's a great source of business. But how many referrals can you get from everybody every single year? So it will represent maybe 10% or 20% of your business most of the time. Very rarely, it could be 50% of your business, but that's rare unless you have an incredible sphere that you are involved with a lot of organization and you have an incredible sphere or a humongous family and friends. Okay. But if not, that's not where it comes. Okay. So analyze your business where it comes from and see if what's the percentage of the referral. And if you want, if that, how much will it equate for your year revenue? And if your year revenue is higher than that, well, then you need other means of revenue of client, and you need to go into proactive mode. That's what you have to do. Okay, thank you for the share, Vicky. I appreciate that. So execution, every single day, make a process, a routine of what you need to execute on and just do it. Okay. So how do you become the best version of yourself? How am I doing on time? Hold on a second. Oh boy. Okay. I'm going to accelerate a little bit, but I hope it doesn't matter Sarah, is it okay if I pass a little bit 11? Is that okay?
That's totally fine.
Oh, that's totally fine. Great. And I hope for the group also, because I'd like to do a question period after. So how do you become the best version of yourself in real estate? So I view real estate as a sport. I make the parallel. I used to be in competition when I was young. And when I struggled in real estate, well, that's what I decided to do, is compare it to sports and say, okay, what's the training I need to do in order to excel? Okay. How I need to show up for practice. I need to play on the field. So play on the field is going to appointment. If you're waiting for the appointment to come to you, or you're waiting for the clients to come to you, you're not playing on the field. You need to start playing on the field. I see an agent as an athlete. I see myself as an athlete of real estate. So we're going to see now if you're going to be deciding of becoming an amateur athlete or a professional athlete. And we're going to do a parallel a little bit, and some of you will recognize you in some of it, okay? And then I'm going to be giving you 12 steps how to win your gold medal. So real estate as a sport. Ask yourself, will you be the athlete that is benched or on the field? You're benched if you're waiting for business to come. If your team leader had to choose who's going to play on the lineup, will you be one of the first on the lineup, or are you going to be sitting on the bench? Will you be playing at all games or just occasionally? Okay. Will you become a professional athlete, or are you going to stay as an amateur athlete? Big difference in revenue. Big difference in revenue. We could see the same thing in real estate. Will you be an athlete who gets paid big money, endorsement, like referrals? Or are you going to be just barely making and not getting paid at all? And I want to make a distinction that when I talk about amateur, is not necessarily a beginner, because some beginners are more professional than veterans of 20 years of experience. Okay. Will you be in action? Okay. So the action you take is going to make the difference. Your language of communication is going to make the difference between an amateur and a professional. The way you present yourself, how are you showing up? Physically, dressed up, and your mindset. How are you showing up? Are you going into, oh, oh, well, I had a bad day. I lost, one of myself fell at the inspection, and you go into an appointment with that conversation. Keep it to yourself. They don't need to hear about it. Okay? How will you be perceived? And how will you perceive people? How are you behaving, whether you are alone with clients or colleague? It's the way you collaborate with a colleague as well. So some of the difference is that the professional and the amateur will have like the written goals. I spoke about it a little bit. However, the amateur will most likely write it at the beginning of the year, put it in the drawer and forget about it. At the end of the year, he's going to open his drawer and say, oh yeah, I had a goal of making 100,000. I just made 60. Oh, okay, I'll try again next year. But the professional is going to take the goal. He's going to break it by monthly, by weekly, by daily. What are the actions that is required in order to achieve his goal? That's going to be his compass that's going to give him the direction of the step that he needs to do in order to achieve the goal, to get to the destination. How is he winning his Stanley Cup? How is he winning his Super Bowl? How is he winning his gold medal? Okay. So the amateur lives on hopium. He's hoping he's going to get there. Okay. All year long. Another difference is that the amateur will live in the past. So when I lost my transaction, I was depressed for for quite a while. But came a time where like, hey, stop living there, Nancy. Like, you gotta go so much. So how long does it take you when you lose a transaction? Or how long are you talking about a big, great sale that you made? And that's all we hear about. The big sale you made 5 years ago and all the details, how you did that sale and what were the conversation and how you told the client what to do and this and that. So the amateur agent's going to live in the past, as of the professional will just say, okay, time to move on. Next. The four-letter word next is your best friend in real estate. Next. Pass on. Okay. The amateur is going to abandon at the first resistance. At the first no, he's going to hang up. He's not going to be able to handle the objection. But the professional is solution-minded. He knows that it takes between 5 and 7 no's in order to get a yes. So he's going to go through the 5 no's, 6 no's, 7 no's. He's going to do his lead follow-up for the 5, 6, 7 time. Then there's going to be conversion. The amateur will always go to new and move on from the first no or second no, and then he moves on to somebody else who will not nurture that person. Okay. So that's very important that you understand that when you're in lead follow-up, it takes between 5 to 7 no's before the client gets to a yes. Okay, very important. The amateur will work only when he's motivated. If it's nice outside, I say, bah, way too nice. I'm going to go on a terrace. I'm going to take advantage. I'm going to go play golf. The professional one is not where is it's not the weather, it's not the outside world that's going to be deciding of what is going to be working or not. Okay. The amateur is going to be the outside factor or when he's going to be desperate. Okay. If he's not motivated, he's not doing his job. If he doesn't feel like it, he won't go to work. If the weather is nice, he's decided to do something else. If he has no appointments, well, it's a day off. The professional won't do that. No appointment. I'm getting on the phone. I'm doing follow-up. I'm going to work on my marketing. I'm going to be doing something, but going to be in action all the time. So the professional understand that there's a job to do. There's action to be done. It's a job. It's not a part-time job. He's got a set schedule, structure, a routine. It's not about how he feels. Do I feel like it or I don't? It's regardless of that, he shows up. It's a must. Okay. Because the amateur will not embrace discipline, he runs away from discipline. The professional will embrace it, and he knows that's what is required in order to go to the next level. And the other big difference, okay, when there's adversity, the professional will see the solution and move on. But the amateur doesn't get back on his feet rapidly. He's going to live there for a while. He's going to swim in the lost. Okay, he's going to break down and having a hard time getting back up. So which one are you more of? Because you could be a little bit of both too. So for myself, I know that if I'm going to lose the deal, I said it. I have 1 minute to get back up because my clients deserve me at the best at all time. My husband deserves me at my best at all time. My team deserves me at my best at all time. So where do you live in there? Are you more a professional or are you more amateur or a little bit of both? Hello? A little more amateur, Mavin. Okay, thank you. Professional, okay. Both, Emily, okay. Anybody else? Both, but working on it. Always room to grow. Well, that's the first step to be a professional. That's great. Vicky, professional in experience, amateur in dollars. Oh, that's interesting. Ah, very interesting. Well, there's some adjustment to be done, Vicky, and I'm sure with a few tweaks, you can get the money that goes with it. And Monique, amateur. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for, answering and sharing because, first step to growth is that. Good. So there will always be an amateur that will blame their failure on the weather, the interest rates, the market, the agency, the split. Will be blaming the world all the time. But the professional will always seek the knowledge, refine their skill, take action and execute and take market share. While the other one is complaining, the professional is taking market share. You choose what kind of athlete you want to be and become. And ask yourself, are you committed to your dreams or are you committed to your excuses? I'll repeat, are you committed to your dreams or are you committed to your excuses? What kind of agent do you want to become? Our first quarter is already done. The first month of the second quarter is already over. May 1st today. My God, did it ever go fast? Okay. So tell yourself, if you had a bad first quarter, there's always in a year one quarter that's less good than the other three. So let it be that one and make your mindset and make your shift and tell yourself this was the worst one and I'm moving on to better. If you had a fantastic first quarter or a great one, tell yourself also that was the worst one. Imagine what kind of year you can have if you qualify that one as your worst one, even if it was a fantastic one. That means the other three are going to be way better. Okay. So you got to play a game with your head. So make that decision. Okay. Because when you make a decision, Napoleon Hill says it best, burn the bridges behind you. Set your mind on a definite goal and see how quickly the world will step aside to let you pass. And this is so true. The day I made the decision that I was not going to be, my father will never see me like this again. Okay, it was the beginning of me becoming professional and having an incredible career. So you will need to develop the mindset of a champion, the skills of a pro athlete, and execute with the force of nature. And every day, you'll need to win the day. So develop the habit of going home with a win, something positive. End your day with a win. Make sure that in your day you had at least one win. Very important. Don't go home defeated. Make sure if you had a setback, work something out to get a win, a phone call, an appointment, a good news, a great conversation with a past client, but go home with a win. Okay? End your day with a win to make sure that you collect a win. Each day you have to win the day. So you have to develop your mindset to win the day, the week, the month, the quarter. And we all have the same 24 hours in a day. All the same 24 hours, the same 1,440 minutes and 86,400 seconds that we have in the same day, and yet nobody has the same result. So why with the same time? And people will blame time management. They say, I'm bad at time management. No, you're bad at self-management. There is no time management. There's only self-management and the priority that you put yourself and that you work with. Okay. Look at your life right now. Where are you financially? Are you in a good place, in a not so good place, in a great place? Are you owning your own home? Are you renting? Are you driving the car of your dream? Are you happy with how much money there is in your bank account? Wherever you are, it is all the results of the decisions you made in the past about how you were going to pass your time. And I'm going to repeat this one. Wherever you are right now, it's the result of the decisions you made in the past about how you were going to pass your time. Some of you made great decisions, and some of you may be more poor ones. Okay? But it's all, every time you make a decision, every time you say yes to something, you say no to something else. And that no might be no to your future. Because a lot of people are more into the immediate gratification. And if you're always making decisions based on immediate gratification, it's going to catch up with you in the future. So we all have the same 24 hours. Choose how you're going to be spending time and see it as deposit in the bank or withdrawal. Whenever you're doing something that is a great action, how you're going to be spending your time, you're making a deposit in your bank account in your future. Whenever you choose, example, going to scroll on your social media and wasting your time, right? And just boom, scrolling and everything, you're just withdrawing money from your bank account. Make that association that every time you go on social media, the time you waste there, because, hey, I remember in the morning, I would be tired and I say, okay, let me just take my car out, spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just see. Within a blink of an eye, it was 1 hour I was on social media. Who recognize themselves in that? I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It consumed the time like no other thing ever did. And yet during that time, you could be building your business, your future, your family's future, your generation wealth, everything. It is crazy. Okay. So when you say yes to social media, you say no to something else. Now, if you're able to, I'm not saying not to do social media, not to go on social media, but you have to be able to schedule it. Schedule when you go on social media. Remove all notification from your phone. Because what happened? You're doing something, you're speaking with somebody, and all of a sudden, ding, and what do? You just break the conversation you're having with the person that you are with. It could be a client, it could be a spouse, it could be a team member. And you're breaking that because your eyes are going to the ding, and you gotta go see what that thing is. Ding! And you just broke the conversation you had, the moment you had with that person. And if you were not being, maybe you were just doing paperwork and then ding, and it just draw your attention there. So the first thing, please remove your notification. That will save you. Okay, that's very, very important. So if you choose real estate as a sport, here's some steps to how you can win your gold medal. Okay, ready? So the first thing you'll need to be able to visualize you getting there. You got to be able to see it there before it materializes in your real life. You got to be able to see it there. I don't have time to do that visualization exercise, but start closing your eyes and seeing yourself win that gold medal. Okay? You need to treat your business like a job. It's not whenever, whatever. It's a job. You got to show up at the office, show up to go to do a job, show up to your appointment, and fill up your day with activities that are bringing you closer to your goal. I know that the Netflix shows and all the shows of selling Sunset and selling New York and all that glamorize real estate, glamorize our field. And all of a sudden, everybody, that's what they want. They want to look good. They want to take their pause in social media. They want to look good. And they think it's the lifestyle and they want to go to cocktails and cocktails. Oh, I'm going to do some business development. And most of the time, it ends up not being business development. It's a nice evening. It's fun. I remember When I was at my office, it was, hey, Nancy, I had 2 hours of prospecting to do, or somebody was offering me to go for a cocktail. Go to the cocktail. Which one was I choosing? The cocktail all the time. It got me trouble. When I say yes to this, I say no to my future. And that's what got me in trouble. Okay? You must master your morning routine. Win your mornings and you will win your day. Remember that. Win your morning and you will win your day. It's incredible. Work your mindset and don't let the outside world affect your inner world. I see it all the time. People being completely disturbed with what's going out of the world, whether it's the election, the Trump, the tariff, the weather, the interest rate, the war, the Ukraine, and they're letting all that affect their inner world. And there's nothing that you can do about that. This is all things that are there that you either give it a lot of attention, but it becomes a big distraction. And it defeats you in being set in your best mindset to go do your job of selling real estate and finding a buyer or seller that needs to sell so you can earn a commission. Period. Right? It's not the science. Okay. And stop using valid reasons. So valid reasons are excuses in disguise. It's the bullshit story you tell yourself why you didn't do something. Okay, it's exactly that. It's a bullshit story you tell yourself why you didn't do something. And you believe it. That's the worst part, is that you believe it. You believe that it's a valid reason. But in reality, it's an excuse. Okay? So ask yourself why you're stuck where you are. Now, valid reason, like I said, you don't not succeed because of one major event. It could be like Monique who lost her husband, or a death in the family, or a sickness. That alters something. However, it could become a valid reason also in the future. And I'll give you an example. In 2019, my husband almost died. He had a massive pulmonary embolism. He was within 24 hours. If he didn't show up at the hospital, he was dead. Now, it changed the way we look at things. It changed a lot the way we look at things, how we spend our time, the race rat that we're in sometime. It changed at that moment a lot of things. Then he got into medication. Then he was able to fly. Then he was okay. But it remained a valid reason for not doing what we're supposed to do. And I caught myself into that. I caught myself into that because I look at myself in the mirror all the time and I analyze things. I see, okay, how come I'm not striving in this or that, or how come there's a shift in this, in the income or whatever? And I name it and I label it and I'm able, and I'm not using valid reason, but that one was a valid reason, but it was an extended valid reason. It went over the time that it had to be. So Monique, I'm not saying that it's not a valid reason, but it could stop you way too long, which doesn't require that. So just, like I said, if you want, you could ask Sarah for my number and reach out to me. It will be my pleasure to speak with you. Okay? So test your excuses. Ask yourself when you justify something, why you didn't do something. Did you label it as a valid reason? Okay? You'll need to give up your valid reason. And the day you stop, your business will change and you will move forward. Okay? So execute every day. Stop waiting for business to come. You got to understand the law of accumulation, and very quickly the law of accumulation. If you say that you're going to be making 10 calls a day, but you stop at 7, it's -3. If you do that every day for 30 days, okay, it becomes 3 contacts less a day for 30 days is 90 contacts. If that would have given you 5 appointments, all of a sudden you have only 1 appointment. So the law of accumulation of doing less every single day accumulate, and unfortunately you will miss your goal sometime by not much, just because of those small accumulation of things that you didn't do that you did not realize. And the accumulation of small failures will accumulate on a life of greater failure. Okay. And in order for you to be the best version of yourself, you will need to walk in different shoes. I am not the person I used to be. My identity is no longer the person I used to be in when I was in my 20s. I don't do real estate the way I used to do it in my 20s when I started. Okay? So walk in the shoes of the person that's capable of achieving that goal. So ask yourself the goal that you want to achieve, the person who you are right now, is that the person that's capable to achieving that? Maybe you need to change shoes. And 10, always be ready to do one more call before the end of the day, one more lead follow-up, one more appointment, one more hour, one more push, one more, right? Like if you go to the gym, one more push-up, one more, always do one more. Be in the habit, develop that habit of doing one more. And accept the process, because making sale is the result. You have to master the process, not the sale. You need to master the process in between. Okay. So once you master the process, what's required in order to get that result, then you have to repeat that process every single day. We're always chasing the sale, where in fact we need to master the process. That's what you have to do. Okay. And if you change your inner game, your outer game will change. So this is what I had for you today. I hope you were able to get at least one or two, or maybe a little bit more, great insight about that. And I'm just going to share with you, and then we're going to do a question period. Okay, I'm just going to share a QR code. Hold on a second. I gotta be able to go get it. Hold on a second. Share. Yeah, right here. You can scan this QR code, because I will be doing a free webinar for people who attended this group and some of the people that attended the Evolve. And you can register, and also it will be able to keep in touch with me when I offer coaching courses. I do special program of 8 weeks. So if you're interested to know a little bit more about it, get on my mailing list by scanning this QR code. And do you guys see the QR code? Yes, Sarah, do we see it?
Yes, yes, we
Yeah,
can
we see
see
it.
it. Yeah.
Okay, very good. And I'd like to know if there's any questions for me to answer. So do you want to maybe read the question, Sarah? Do you want to be the
Sure. Yeah,
moderator?
I can read the questions. I've got let's see. Yeah, well, while we're waiting for some of the questions to come in, and please feel free to do that, I wanted to share some of my like favorite takeaways. I have been blessed, like Aveen had said, that we get our coaching and training, and we've got to have lots of conversations together. So I mean, some of my favorites are, of course, detach from the outcome. That's something I find that's really helped me. And I've heard you say it a few times, of course. So that's something that's really helped me. And just like you can't control everything that's coming at you, right?
Yeah.
So, and then of course, my one of my all-time favorites, and I heard you say it last year, and I think about it, you know, pretty close to every day, is the executor be executed. And if, just even within our team, if I'm not executing things, it falls down for a lot of people. And that's when you can get executed, right? And
Yes.
that 1 minute to get up. So, things happen all the time, and you have to be that problem solver. So, say something happens and it's just square your shoulders and, try again. So, those are some of my really big ones that I love. I have a list of 10, so I can let other people chime in. I won't take over everything. But please, like, put your questions in the chat. I've got let's see. What would be your best advice for new agents?
For new agents, oh, well, definitely. So you need to define what routine, how you're going to fill your day. So you'll need to, how are you going to be getting business? Are you the one that's going to be going door knocking? Are you doing cold calls? Are you going to be prospecting on the phone? How are you going to get your business? That's what you have to determine as a new agent. the how you're going to go get the business. Okay, you're going to need to be in action, you're going to be needing guiding. Definitely, if you are in an environment that offers coaching, assist to all this training, continue to invest in yourself. That's super important. And you tag along top producers, ask them to tag along, ask them to help them, ask them to do an open house for them, ask them, go interview them, go ask questions. But definitely you need to be in action and fill your day with action driven, and not just show up at the office and stay 8 hours just looking left and looking right and waiting. That's very important.
Great.
I
Thank you.
hope I hope I hope that answers your question.
And Andrea had posted one of her takeaways are you committed to your dreams or are you committed to your excuses? That's always a really great one that
It's
you
a big one. Yeah, it's a big one. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And Megan has asked, so Megan scanned the QR code. She said the event says it's March 12th. Is it May 12th?
Oh, no, no, no. So I didn't have time to do it. Forget about the date. Okay, the importance for you to be on the scanning the QR code is that I'll get your information and I'll be able to send you emails with the proper date. I just took the one from Evolve, and I forgot that I had a date on that. So I'm sorry, but yes, no, thank you for that question. It's very good, but no, it will be in the future. Yes.
That's great. I've got Nada has to leave and says, thank you, Nancy Forlini, for this great session. So thank you
Well,
so much.
my pleasure, Nada. My
And
pleasure.
Andrea says, thank you for being so generous. We've got thank yous coming in. And of course, Nancy's still running the webinar from Evolve. So we're running through the coaching group. And then once that's done, if you sign up, you'll get your link for the next session and the dates and all that information.
Very
So
good.
Nancy, thank you so much again for, pouring your love into us and teaching us how to grow and, just be that winning athlete that you are. So we appreciate everything that you
And
share.
I
And
want to bring the people with me. I want to bring them like in the team of winners. So I hope that the message resonated with the people and that they have something to go back to and alter something in their daily life.
absolutely, we'll lock arms and grow together. So thank
Yeah.
you so much. And
Thank you, Sarah, for the opportunity. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. I appreciate you being there.
enjoy the rest of your day.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you. Bye.